Hi everyone. Today I want to do a quick video to show you kind of how I do my planters, kind of some important things I've learned and some step-by-step that I think have really helped a lot in the way the plants survive, things I'd never even heard of. So I just wanted to share some of these tips with you and kind of just go through and show you one of my planters and take it from start to finish. Now, one thing, this is already a pot I had, and just although it was fairly new, I went ahead and dumped out all of the existing soil and replenished it with new. It's important that, like, if something has been sitting there, if dirt has been sitting there for, say, more than 6 months, and you've got the pot and it's ready to go, chances are the nutrients that are in the soil have already kind of expired, done its work, so it's not going to be working anymore. So it's important to go ahead and just dump that dirt, start over again, and which I never knew. You know, I used to just keep planting. If I had dirt in there, I just kept planting it up. So it was kind of interesting and a great tip for me to figure out. Now I already put my gloves on. I can't get the thing open. But another really important tip is, even though your dirt already has a lot of nutrients in it if it's new, and it's important that you use, there is ground dirt that you would use out in the garden, out in the ground, and there's potting soil. If you're going into a pot, make sure you use the potting soil. It has different fertilizer in it. It has different nutrients in it than it would in the ground. So it's important to make sure you're using the right one. The second thing that I really find is important is that you use a starter fertilizer in your dirt. I fertilize my pots every week in the spring and summer, and probably every 2 weeks. If the plants aren't growing and it's winter and the plants aren't growing, I don't fertilize. But you know, here in Arizona, there's only a short amount of time that you don't have to fertilize. The plants aren't actually growing. So this is just a starter fertilizer. As you can see, I just put in some handfuls in there. There's measuring, and use it measuring. I'm kind of more of a handful, a teaspoon of this, that, just throw it in. Mix it all into your dirt, like so. And then it's important that where you're going to be putting your pot, look at the plants. Do they need shade? Do they need sun? Do they, you know, I mean, are they going to do okay with where you're planning on putting it? I used to just go to, you know, Lowe's or Home Depot and just grab the colors and the things I liked. Well, half the time they weren't going to work because I put them in the shade, or I put them in the sun. They needed shade, you know. So it's important that you really pay attention to these tags. They give you a lot of the information. So, you know, spacing, water, what kind of zone they are, you know, fertilizing, all that kind of stuff. So it gives you everything you need to know. So make sure you really do. You don't want to waste money on plants and situations that then it's not going to work where you're putting it. A lot of times with this is purple fountain grass, and I love this stuff kind of as a centerpiece in your pot. And then what I also love about it is it seems to do so well here, but then it can go, if the pot, you know, some of these are summer plants, so if the pot is kind of done after summer and you're going into fall, and I might be able to put this with some fall decorations. This would still look really great, change out some of the surrounding plants. But then when it's done, I can put it out in the landscape. I just did that. So so it's important to take a look at those kind of things. Then what I do is I start with my centerpiece, and centerpiece is going to be something that is, you know, large, and you know, it's going to take your your centerpiece of your arrangement. So you just kind of dig, make sure you dig, you know, a good enough hole. Take your plant. Now you can see this root system is pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of roots right there. Breaking them, I'm not suggesting breaking them, but just kind of just open it up a little bit so it can start its root system there. Then I just kind of push down some of the extra dirt. You might find, okay, I need a little bit deeper hole, okay? You know, get your centerpiece situated, put that in, and there we go. So then what I'm going to do is, these are creeping jennies. They're kind of your spiller plant. I love creeping jennies. You can see that, you know, that beautiful foliage next to that one, to the grass. These are going to just come over the side. This isn't a huge pot, you know, it's not going to take massive amounts of plants. And again, you have that root system. Okay, so what I want to do is start this creeping jenny to kind of be spilling over. So how I place the plant is going to determine. I could have placed it that way and it would go into the fountain grass. So I want to kind of place it on the outside. So just to make sure I've got my angles right, I'm going to go ahead and put another creeping jenny on this side. Just squeeze it out of the bottom. You take a look at your root system. That's quite, you know, that's nice. It's already established. Just give it a little bit of a rough opening, not major. Okay. Place it in there. Make sure you've got the right where you want it. You know, I'm big on, okay, so here's your center and here's your this. So then what I'm going to do is just go around. These are vincas, very hardy, Arizona, you know, very hardy plant. Now, I never like these kind because I tend to break off the little system here, but I'm just going to try to pull these out whole. There's one. Okay. And I'm going to start this out in the front here. Bring in some color. I love this pink color. This one doesn't have, I'm going to put this one in the back because it doesn't have it doesn't have the blooms yet. This one does. This one's kind of holding on to its packaging. Okay, this one does. So I'm gonna squeeze this one in as tight as I can. Okay, I think I've got room for one more up here. I think this foliage looks really nice with the creeping jenny as well. And then obviously the color of the vincas is really pretty. Okay, so I got 3 up there. I've got 1 back here, so it's telling me we've got room for. Got 2 more back here. Open this up. This is another great tool that I got on QVC. It does 6 things in one. It's going to be great in the fall when I do my bulbs because it'll cut through. It tells you, it measures exactly how far you've gone down, so that's very helpful. And it's just a great, you know, when you're planting, it's a great tool to have. I always have that in my cutters. So here we go. And the nice thing too about, you know, like this is going to more than likely be summer and into fall. These vincas are very much Arizona flowers. You'll hear vincas. That's pretty much one of the only things that will grow a lot here in the summer that doesn't have to have a huge amount of water. So then what you do is you just go through, take a look at your pot, wind everything down, make sure you've got everything pushed down real good, and you're ready to go. And I think this pot is just real sweet. It's got beautiful color. You know, you've got the purple grass. It'll grow tall. Creeping jennies will, you know, spill over. And then you've got the color here with the vincas. I think it turned out really cute. I hope this was interesting for you. I hope it was you know, easy to kind of see how easy it is to do. Oh, one other thing I want to make sure. Now, you could put this on a drip, and a lot of my pots out in the garden are on drip and on the patio. This one is going to be in the front by my front door, so it probably won't be on drip. But even if it is on, even if you do have your pots on drip, when you first plant, make sure you come in and you just do a nice overhead water. That helps get all the water or all the soil settled. It can tell you, okay, I need to add a little bit of dirt, you know what I mean, or whatever, you know, do a little rearranging. But it just needs that nice overhead water just to really settle in the plant. And yeah, so I think I covered everything. I wanted to make sure I mentioned some of these tricks that I have. But I think the biggest thing is the fresh dirt, the starter fertilizer, fertilizing once a week in the growing season, and check your stubs, check your plant tags. How are the plants best? Where do they grow? What is the best, you know, sunlight, half sunlight, full sun? What's going to make them the best? Excuse me. And doing something hardy. And I think it's just, you know, it took me what, 5 minutes? You know, it's not a difficult thing. And you know, when I walk out on my patio, when I walk into the front door, when I sit by the pool or whatever, you know, you just enjoy these beautiful colors and this beautiful, you know, arrangements and everything. So I just think it's fun, and it doesn't have to be a lot of money. You don't have to spend hundreds on pots. You know, they can be pots that somebody brought you. I have a bunch of pots that, you know, I've had plants in them, and then I just reuse them. You could spray paint them if you want a certain color. There's so many options that are inexpensive. So hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.